welcome back to my channel. So I am finally doing my Philodendron collection video. Yes, your girl looks different, okay? Please let me know what you think about my bangs. This is my first time since I was like a very small child having like full bangs, and I don't know how I feel about it yet, but I really wanted to try something different. And I did my hair finally. If you noticed in the last couple of videos, I was wearing like a beanie, which I love. I love like hats and beanies and toboggans anyway, but the reason for that was because my roots had grown out so bad and it just looked terrible. So I finally did my roots and toned my hair and got bangs. So let's get into the video. Okay, I had mentioned before that I would do my Philodendron collection and a care video, but because, as many of you may know, a lot of my more rare philodendron I have just recently purchased and gotten into my home over the last few months, so like over the summer and fall, and I just don't really feel comfortable doing a care video on the more rare philodendrons just yet, so I think that's gonna have to wait until at least spring possibly. Yeah, so they're pretty expensive plants, and I really don't want to give advice and then you take my advice and your rare philodendron die. So we're just not going to go there right now, and I'm just going to share my collection with you. So as I mentioned, you will recognize, if you watch my videos and my unboxing videos, you'll recognize many of these plants from recent unboxings. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So this pretty gal right here that you see is the beautiful Philodendron Scandens, your typical heartleaf philodendron, but I love her so much. Whenever I got this plant, I got her at a Walmart, you know, in one of those little like 2 or 3 inch pots, and she only had a couple leaves, and now I'm so happy to say that she is trailing. She's completely spilled out of her pot, and I think she is just wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. And I really want the neon philodendron. I have the neon pothos, but nothing can compare to those big, beautiful heart-shaped leaves of the philodendron, so I really, really hope to have one of those soon. But if you can see, the newer growth on this Scandens is such a light green. It almost reminds you of the neon philodendron. It's like that lemon lime color, and yeah. She's awesome. Next, this little cutie peeking in the frame right here is my Philodendron Brazil. And the same with this plant. Whenever I got it at Walmart, it was in like a 2 or 3 inch pot and only had a couple leaves. But I will say, if I'm being honest, this plant took forever to grow, which confused me because I was under the impression like the Brazil is a very fast growing, easy house plant. It took months for this plant to finally start putting off new growth, but as you can see, he has finally started to spill out of his pot. He is trying to trail, and I'm very happy with him. And it's so beautiful. Each leaf is completely different, very unique, and I love this leaf right here. He recently put this leaf off over the last couple months, and it's completely green, like lime green, and it's just so cute. I love that leaf. But yeah, your common Philodendron Brazil, still just so pretty. I love it. Okay, next up we have this little cutie, and this is the Philodendron Mykins, if you can't already tell from those beautiful velvety leaves. Now this plant I wanted for quite a long time, and it's not super expensive. It's not hard to find. It is hard to find where I live. I would never come across this plant in store, but online it's not, you know, super pricey or hard to come by. So I finally got this a couple months back, and I'm so glad that I did. This one's been pretty slow growing so far too, but I have had it in a really low light situation. So I've recently moved it over here closer to my south-facing window and my grow lights. And I'm hoping that it'll put off some new growth, but it has several different new growth points poking out. They just haven't really unfurled yet. So, and this plant reminds me very much so of the Philodendron melanochrysum. The leaves, just how they're so velvety and pretty. Yeah, so the Philodendron Mykins, one of my favorites for sure. And I just have her setting in this cute little decorative pot from TJ Maxx. And I know you can see the top of the terracotta, but I'm thinking whenever this plant fills out more and starts trailing, you won't be able to see the top of it. And I think it'll look really nice in this pot. I switch my plants around to different pots all the time in different places in my home. Like, it's kind of crazy. Okay, up next. Now, this plant, I was kicking myself after I edited and posted the video of the plants that I'm currently struggling with, because I absolutely meant to include this plant in that video and I just completely forgot about it. But this is my Philodendron Mammy, and I'm really struggling with her. I have no idea what's going on. Whenever I got her over the summer, she had another leaf like this. It was a little bit bigger than this, and it immediately started turning yellow, and you know, I had to cut it off. And then it had this leaf, and it had a little baby leaf, which it turned yellow, and I had to chop it off. And then it had this leaf just kind of poking out of the stem down here, just a little leaf bud, really. And so this is it, and as you can see, it's damaged. And then it's also put off this leaf since I received it, and the end of it is a little bit damaged. Now this plant's in a very humid spot, getting some very bright indirect light, so I'm really not sure what her issue is. And as you can tell, her biggest leaf is also damaged. It hasn't turned any more yellow than what you're seeing right now, well, obviously, but it's been like this for a while. It hasn't gotten worse, but I really don't know what's happening. There is a new leaf right here trying to come out, and I'm just really hoping that this leaf will be bigger than these two little tiny ones and that she will do better. But yeah, I don't know what it is, but my Philodendron Mammy has been quite the drama queen in my collection. So if anyone has any care tips on this plant, I would greatly appreciate it. Next up is another new addition to my collection, and this is the Philodendron bipennifolium, or otherwise known as the horsehead philodendron. The plant that I have here is the juvenile variety of that plant. So the leaves, it hasn't really taken on the shape of that known horsehead leaf yet, but you can kind of see it starting to take that form on a few of the leaves. Some of the leaves are more mature than the others, and some of the more juvenile leaves actually remind me a little bit of the Philodendron silver sword. They're not quite as silvery, but they do have a little bit of a silver sheen to them. And I need to get this plant a moss pole. He actually had one, and I ended up stealing it. I hijacked it and gave it to my Philodendron Variegata melanochrysum because, let's be real, that plant needed it more, okay? But yeah, he's just kind of laying here, chilling out. I need to gather some more materials so I can make more moss poles, but I'll definitely get him one. It's just really cute, and I cannot wait until this plant gets those big giant horsehead shaped leaves. I think they're just so pretty, very cool looking. So yeah, it's a pretty cool dude. Next, we'll talk about this plant, which is also another recent purchase. So I unboxed this not very long ago in my Gabriella Plants video, unboxing video. This is my Philodendron Moonlight, and I love it so much. I recently just found out that there's actually a variegated Philodendron Moonlight, and oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Oh my goodness, I need it in my collection. Maybe this spring, but it's so cool looking. And this is the newest leaf right here, which it already had when I received it. But as you can see, he is putting off a new leaf right here. So I'm really excited to watch that unfurl. Yeah, I'm really excited. And while we're talking about this, I'm going to go ahead and grab this giant guy right here because they are very similar. So their growth pattern is quite similar. The only difference really is this one is like a neon green and this one comes in orange, and then over time this one fades to green as well as this one fades to green. And I love my Prince of Orange with all of my heart. I did a plant haul with this video. I found it in Akron, Ohio at this adorable little plant shop called Leaf, and I was just so happy. I was literally like skipping through the store after I found this guy, and he has put off this leaf in my home, which is very pretty. I love the orange. It's a very deep, almost blood orange color whenever it first comes in. And then you can see this one's a little bit older and it's fading to that pretty green color. And then right here, we have a new leaf. So he just put off this one and he's got another one coming in right here. Very cool. I really like these plants. And I love the size of them. I cannot wait till the Moonlight is as big as my Prince here. Cannot even wait. So next up is my beautiful, beautiful Philodendron Pastazanum. I butcher that word every time, but I think that's how you pronounce it, Pastazanum. The first part of the word has pasta in it, so Philodendron Pastazanum. I absolutely adore this philodendron. It's just so, so, so pretty. It has like this pillowed effect to the leaves, and these plants get huge. The leaves on these guys get ginormous. I mean, just, and I cannot wait for it. I am living for it. So, as you can see, this is his older leaf right here, a shipping leaf, which has definitely seen better days, but still holding on. This is the newest, or the next to newest leaf right here, and it's just so, so pretty. But guys, I am a little bit concerned because if you can see here, there's like this whitish blotch on the leaf, and there's another one right here. Yeah, there's another one right here that's kind of turning yellow. So I'm really afraid. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's like a disease, some type of fungus. I have no idea. Even whenever I search Google, I can't find anything that looks quite like this. So this guy is currently in quarantine until we figure out what's going on. I guess I'm just kind of waiting to see if it's going to spread, if the leaf's going to start turning yellow, because I probably should go ahead and chop this leaf off because it isn't affecting any of the remaining leaves, the other two leaves. So I probably really should cut this leaf off, but just look at it. I think it is the prettiest leaf on the entire plant. This one's the newest leaf, and it's obviously bigger, and it's very pretty, but this one here is just the perfect heart-shaped leaf. The pillowing on this leaf is just insane. Oh my gosh. And I just can't bring myself to cut the leaf. But if I do notice yellowing or that this appears to be spreading, I will go ahead and chop the leaf off, as much as it's going to absolutely break my heart in two. Yeah, like I mentioned, he's not setting near my other plants right now because I'm just kind of keeping an eye on him. If he does have a disease, I don't want to spread it to my other plants. But if anybody out there knows what's happening, is this a disease? Is it a fungus? What is it? Please let me know. I have some mildew cure. It's for mildew and mold. And I did spray it down with that, with the mixture of that stuff. And I'm hoping that maybe that'll help. I have no idea. But we do have a new leaf coming in right here. So I'm really excited. Every leaf that comes in on this plant's a little bit bigger, so I am sure this one will be as well, and I just cannot wait to see what this leaf's going to look like. But I love, love, love the Philodendron Pastazanum. It's absolutely just definitely a favorite. Definitely a favorite in my collection. Okay guys, next up is this sad, sad fella. So this is my philodendron, well, it's a lady, painted lady. This is my Philodendron painted lady, and Remember, she had root rot. I had to cut her roots off, and she's been in water, but I pulled her out earlier today, and I noticed, because I noticed the bottom leaf turning yellow, the stem was mushy down at the very bottom, and I was like, oh my goodness. So I guess I didn't remove all the rot, guys, and the stem was starting to rot. So this plant was so much longer when I initially got it. I've had to chop so much off. So I chopped it again. I chopped another like 2.5 inches off of it, up to the next node. I got rid of that bottom leaf. There's no rot. There's no rot here from what I can tell. I'm hoping it doesn't come back. This plant may be a goner. I really just don't know at this point. But so earlier today I chopped it, like I mentioned. There's no water in this bottle right now because I'm gonna let this callus over. I'll probably place it in water tomorrow. So yeah, he's just kind of chilling in here until he calluses over, but it's not looking good for the painted lady. She, I don't know why I'm saying he. This is definitely a lady. It's in her name. Come on. But yeah, this leaf, as you can see, is curling still. I'm just really, really hopeful. I'm really hoping that the rot stays away now and it'll root for me. Like, I'm over the root rot. I don't want to lose this plant. But what can you do? It happens. Part of being a plant parent, right? Okay, who is next? Okay, so this is the adorable Burle Marx Variegata, and you may or may not know that there's 2 plants in this pot. So when I initially received this plant, it was supposed to be the variegated variety, and I unboxed it and it was basically all green. I was like, what the heck? So the seller did end up sending me a more variegated plant, and it was very small. It had like 3 leaves, this being one of them. Look how pretty that is. Oh, I can't deal, guys. The variegation on this Burle Marx is insane. Like, I am obsessed with it, and I'm just like dying to see more variegated leaves come in like this. It's just incredible. I love it. So yeah, but that is why the majority of the plant is all green, and there's only 2 variegated leaves because one of the plants isn't variegated at all. But yeah, I think it looks so cute, and I have gotten 2 new leaves off of the green one, this being one. Little cuties, and here's another one. She told me that she really did believe that the one that she sent me that had no variegation would produce variegation within its next couple of newer leaves. But that just hasn't happened, so I am really thankful she sent me another one with high variegation. Yeah, I don't know if it's Burle Marx or Burle Marx. I think it's Burle Marx actually, but it's just kind of a habit to say Burle Marx, so that's what we go with. But he's just a little cutie. I really like this guy. Okay. So this queen, you guys should most definitely remember. Okay? How could you forget? How could you forget? My beautiful, beautiful pride and joy Philodendron Melanochrysum varicosum cross. Yes, girl. Oh my gosh. So, oh, I'm ridiculous. So this is the plant that I stole the moss pole off of my little horsehead philodendron down there. And I'm so glad that I did, because it just looks, she is stunting on this pole, okay? Let me just say that. So if you remember, whenever I unboxed her, she was unfurling a new leaf, which made me very nervous, because typically whenever you receive a plant in the mail and they're unfurling a new leaf, you usually lose that leaf. It's just the way it is. It's to be expected. So I did kind of expect that, even though the leaf looked pretty good when I unboxed it. But here it is, And as you can see, that new leaf is doing just fine. So it doesn't look like it suffered at all being in transit, and it looks like she's gonna pull through. It looks like she's gonna make it, and it's absolutely beautiful. I love the new leaves on this plant. Whew. Yes, so beautiful. They're so velvety and just amazing. I could not believe when I opened the box how big this plant was. I still can't believe it. I am over the moon excited and happy with the size and the condition of this plant. For the price I paid, that's just amazing. And then, as we may or may not be able to see, we have a new leaf right here poking out. So I really cannot wait to see what that one's gonna look like, how big it's gonna be. I'm just so excited for this plant. So one thing I will say, many of my plants are still growing. Many of my philodendrons, all of them, I think, are still growing, yes. But the one thing I have noticed, since we are in the middle of fall, we're almost to winter, the leaves, they come out and they're taking a lot longer to unfurl than they do like in growing season. So that's one thing I've noticed. My plants are still growing. The leaves are just taking forever to completely come out and unfurl. But that's to be expected. I'm just happy they're growing at all. So I have no complaints. But yeah, I don't even know what to say. I have no words. She speaks for herself, okay? Just look at those leaves, guys. Just one more close up before I put her down. Can you see that the velvetiness? And it feels like velvet too. Like a lot of plants have the kind of velvet sheen, but they don't actually feel velvety. This plant feels like straight velvet. Straight up. Okay. Okay. All right. I'll stop. I'm sorry. Okay. So we will go ahead and talk about this guy, even though I just talked about him in a recent video. The plants that are currently bringing me joy. He was one of them because he's definitely bringing me joy, guys. This plant has grown so much for me. Not only put off a bunch of leaves, but it's grown so much taller than it was when I got it. And the leaves are getting much bigger. Each leaf that it puts out ends up growing bigger than the last, which is just so awesome. So it's actually put off this new leaf since I did that video. This little cutie. So they poke out smaller and then they grow taller and the leaves grow wider, I've noticed. So these 2 or 3 are the newest. Yeah, he's really cool. My Philodendron Deja Vu, because I don't think I just said. But yeah, I really love this plant. It's a very laid back, chill, easygoing house plant. He doesn't ask for much, doesn't require a ton of light, and he's just very, very rewarding. I definitely love my Philodendron Deja Vu. I know a lot of you, or a few of you, mentioned that it looks like the Philodendron, is it Xanadu, I think is how it's pronounced. And it definitely does. I actually thought whenever I first got it that that's what it was. It was just labeled under a different name. But when I get on Google, I can't find a ton of information on this plant. But I did find that there are differences, that they're 2 different plants. But every time I see the Xanadu, I think that it's the Deja Vu every single time because they are just so similar. And these leaves get huge, so I can't wait. I love him. This guy's awesome. Awesome, awesome. Okay, we are almost done. Let's see, what do we have here? Okay, so guys, here she is with all her glory. This is my Camilla's House of Plants Pink Princess Philodendron that arrived to me with root rot, unfortunately. So I had to remove the roots of this Pink Princess as well as my Painted Lady. And I honestly thought it was a goner because the leaves were just so limp and sickly. I lost two leaves right off the bat, one of them being a variegated leaf. But since I removed those nasty sick roots and put her in water, this beautiful girl has put off this new leaf right here. It has like one little speck of pink right there. It's so cute. And she has regained the firmness to her leaves. So this one's obviously a tad bit droopy still, but just feeling it, I can feel a huge, huge difference. The leaves are much more firm than they were when I received her. And you can't see any roots on camera yet, but you know, whenever you're rooting a plant, the first like steps to those roots coming in, you can just see like tiny little hair-like roots kind of barely poking out from the node. Well, that's what I'm seeing. I can see just the tiniest little hairs starting to poke out from the node right here. So that tells me that she's gonna root. I think this plant's gonna root, and I'm so excited about it. So I've been checking this plant very, very often for roots and to make sure that the stem isn't rotting, to make sure that this leaf isn't turning yellow and dying, because if it dies, I will die. That is my favorite leaf ever. But she's pulling through, she's doing all right, and I think we're gonna get roots. I mean, I don't know. I hope I'm not jinxing myself. Let's knock on wood, but I'm really hopeful for this pink princess. I love her, so I hope she pulls through for me. Speaking of which, we'll go ahead and talk about this cutie. So this is my Philodendron Florida Ghost Mint that I received as my replacement plant because my pink princess had root rot. So they let me pick. This is what I chose. I'm so glad I did. Let's see if the camera will pick up that mint color. Look at it, it's so cute. So this plant was packaged the exact same way as the pink princess. Now Camilla's House of Plants is a wonderful company. Their plants are a bit pricey, but they do have some amazing plants on their shop. Amazing. So yes, a lot of them are overpriced, but they are a really, really good company to buy from, I think, because they will make it right. If there's an issue, they will go out of their way to make it right with you. They're awesome. So I'm very thankful that they sent me this plant. I just wanted to throw that in before I tell you it did come with root rot, just like the pink princess. So I was already nervous. I checked those roots right away after receiving it, and some of them were unfortunately rotted. So I did have to remove some of the roots, but this plant had a very substantial root system. It had quite a bit of roots to work with, and it had quite a few really healthy, hardy white roots left over. So though I had to remove some, it had plenty left to work with. So this plant was also really droopy. The leaves were laying down for several days after I even removed the roots and put it in soil. But now I'm proud to say that it's gained its firmness back. This leaf is no longer laying down, it's standing straight. Standing up again, it feels nice and healthy, looks nice and healthy. So yeah, I'm very happy that he has pulled through with no other issues. This little leaf is damaged, but I still think it's the cutest thing ever. And then we have a new leaf coming in right here. And because this plant was under a lot of stress when I received it and it had some root rot, I'm not expecting this new leaf to actually come out and unfurl anytime soon. It's probably going to be a little bit stunted due to that stress, but I am completely fine with that, and it'll make it even more exciting when it does decide to come out and unfurl for me. So my Philodendron Florida Ghost Mint. Huge wish list plant, tiny baby, but I love it so much. They may actually have more of these on their shop too, guys. I think they're around like $98 for this size, which it is really small, but I love it. And this is a very hard one it's been a very difficult one for me to find personally, so the mint variety anyway. So pretty. Okay guys, we have one plant left. I'm already 30 minutes in. I tried to make it as fast as I could. But so up last, but certainly not least, my beautiful Philodendron gloriosum, which if you have followed along my journey for a while, I'm sure you would have seen this plant several times. But she is amazing, glorious, beautiful, perfection. So yeah, this plant has been actually a really easy one as well. She's grown really well for me since I've had her in my home. Yeah, she's just been a really easygoing philodendron as well. This is her newest leaf that she's given me. So beautiful, and these leaves are phenomenal whenever they first come in. Oh my gosh, and the process of them maturing after they first unfurl and then maturing to this deeper green color is just, every step of it is beautiful. Oh, it's just amazing. This is an older leaf, still beautiful. And this is the oldest leaf, which is a shipping leaf, and you can see she's kind of ran her course. So she's gonna go ahead and head out, I guess you could say. So I could probably go ahead and chop this leaf off. I probably will, because as you can see, new leaf. And she's been putting off this new leaf for a minute, like a good minute. And that's just kind of what I mean by it. All of my plants are kind of stuck, I guess you could say. Like, even my Syngonium albo. So she's been putting off this mostly white leaf for quite some time now. And it's just taking forever. It's finally starting around the edges to kind of open up a little bit, I think. But yeah, she's just taking her sweet old time. Same thing with this guy. And I think it's just the season change. I think it's just where it's fall now. We've lost quite a bit of daylight, which, can I just say, I hate. I really, really love this time of year. I love fall time, but I hate daylight savings. I mean, it starts getting dark around like 5 o'clock where I live now, and I just dislike it. My plants dislike it. It's just, ugh. Otherwise, I love this time of year, but what can you do? So yeah, my Philodendron gloriosum, beautiful plant. The price has come down quite a bit on these. They were pretty pricey back whenever I got mine, but I'm seeing them now like on eBay and Etsy for $40, $50. Probably not quite this big, but decent sized plants that look pretty good for, you know, around 50 bucks. So that's really not bad at all. But I love her. Okay guys, so that is it for my fall philodendron collection. I hope I didn't forget anybody. I very well may have forgotten a couple plants, but I'm pretty sure I included everybody. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any care tips for the plants that I showed you that I'm struggling with, my philodendrons that I'm struggling with, like my Mammy, please let me know. Leave them in the comments. Hit me up on Instagram, because I would really, really like to see some improvements in that plant and for her to get better. But yeah, I'm gonna go, guys. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next one.